Hello, welcome to my channel. So today I am building a modern starter home with a 20k budget. So you'll see later on I use some debug to make sure that it's on price so it's not too expensive. So pretty much just for the outside, really basic, really fits in with Willow Creek. Windows are they are the eco lifestyle ones because they're probably some of the cheapest and they're like super modern. So the back door I did end up actually changing for a different glass door because it didn't really fit with the kitchen and everything in it. So yeah, just putting some roofing on, trims, all that sort of stuff, make it look a bit nicer. So I also managed to make this a small home, so I think it ends up being about like 60 tiles in the end because of the balconies. But I think that's pretty good. You know, you get like the extra skill gain and everything, so definitely benefits to this lot. But you do have to have tiny living, I think it's called, to actually get that. And also a lot of the items are tiny living or seasons, I think parenthood as well. I think the counters might be parenthood. So yeah, changing the door, I ended up changing the door again. Yeah, I decided to make the bedroom there, just put the bed in the wall so you can actually get around it and have a desk and stuff in there. The lights, I think some of them get deleted towards the end, but the lighting ends up all right. Floor is like one of the cheapest like wooden ones, and then there's a desk. Got a cheap PC, so you can have, I got a cheap one so that they can actually have a TV as well, rather than just like a PC. So you've got entertainment in a couple of different forms, so you could have like someone on the computer and then you could have someone watching the TV. Yeah, bathroom I ended up having towards the end actually delete some of these decorations I put in because I just didn't have the money if I wanted to do some sort of landscaping, because the debug landscaping I used, I found some rocks but I didn't realise they were like 4 simoleons each, so I ended up having to delete some of the stuff. But I did use nicer counters. I think you can use some nicer stuff if you make the house quite small. Actually, you can get away with having a starter home with nice furniture. So yeah, I swapped the door out. I think the door I used is from Dine Out, but there are some base game ones that you could probably use instead. I ended up deleting the island because it just looks a bit stupid. Like it was too big for the space. So put some counters in, put a sink over there. Yeah, just putting some decorations in the kitchen so it looks a bit less plain. Yeah, tables, chairs. Those chairs get deleted in the end. I used some cheaper ones because didn't have the money because it's a starter home. Yeah, the lounge looks ridiculously sparse, and like in the end I end up having to add some really cheap decorations and put some more chairs in there, even though it costs more to put some chairs in just because it looked too plain and you just couldn't like fill the space with bookcases and stuff, which is usually what I do. If the lounge and stuff looks a bit sparse, I'll like put some bookcases in, but obviously starter home, can't afford that. These paintings are really expensive, but I wanted the bedroom to at least have some decorations, otherwise it just looks a bit plain. So yeah. Put the mailbox in. I always forget to do that, and then it appears halfway through the build, like when you put a sim in. They just shove the mailbox like anywhere on the lot, so you could make sure you put that in. I ended up deleting that decoration actually because I end up using what's now like, yeah, I end up putting it there, that little like bookcase thing, but I don't think it really counts as a bookcase. So I actually ended up putting some books on it so it counts as a bookcase. I think I found a candle in debug as well that I put on just to add something more to it. Yeah, so I put some blinds in the bathroom for some privacy. Yeah, I started changing a little bit of the outside of the house at this point just to make it a bit cheaper because, I mean, the more money you have, the more decor you can spend. I also want to try and get an easel in somewhere as well because like a lot of people, when you buy starter homes, I usually end up having one of the Sims paintings, so then you end up with like a lot more money a lot quicker. That's especially if you want to do like legacy challenges. Painting is so helpful. Yeah, trying to find some tables, which all ended up being kind of expensive and didn't really fit the space very well. Yeah, so I just left that one there and didn't put, like, I was going to put a side table in with a lamp, but just decided on just having like the TV on a table instead. Put that little coat rack thing in because bit of decor. That wall is really plain otherwise, and I couldn't really afford a painting. I was going to try and put a painting there or some kind of like decorative, but yeah, too expensive. So I ended up actually having to delete one of the counters to fit the sink and everything, and so I just put a little plant on the other side so it didn't look too weird by itself. Yeah, I've met the stairs all the way along, so I think it looks a bit better, even though it was like another like what, like 40-50 simoleons, but it looks a bit better. So I was just kind of playing around with debug and like what you could get, and trying to get the cheats to work, but I just was not typing them in right. So if you actually want to get access to all the debug stuff, I think it's bb.show live edit objects, I want to say that's what it is. You can Google it and it'll come up pretty quickly, and I just dragged a load of like filler plants out just because you can't actually copy them like you can with other items, so it's actually kind of a pain in the ass, so you have to like just like drag out what you want the amount you want. So rather than using a fence, I just put this little like bush thing all the way around. It's kind of like the one you can buy, but like I think it's a bit taller. So yeah, and then trying to find trees to fill the space in the back garden, because the whole back garden area, like, it just looked really stupid if you don't have any landscaping. And like for a start home, I wanted to make it at least look nice as well. So the inside, obviously you've got quite a lot of skills, and then a couple of bits of filler and stuff, like objects and what's the word, like decorations, that's the word. So yeah, I was just dragging a load of like random things out that I might want to use that I could move around, loads of trees that I'll see which one I like best, because in debug you can't actually search and be like trees and then it all comes up, so you actually just hit the magnifying glass in the search bit, but to go through everything, and that's the only way you can get access to like every debug thing. There are some mods that you can get actually where you can like expand the catalog up so you can actually see more, but I don't have one of the mods. I might get it, to be fair, it's probably more helpful. So yeah, just doing some like landscaping, making it look a bit nicer. Yeah, I was trying to put some more stuff inside, but it just wasn't happening. Put a bike down. I think I deleted the bike, and also like I don't know if the sim can get the bike down if the steps are there. I'm not really sure. But I wanted to have something. Yeah, I think I deleted that. I wanted to have a bench somewhere as well, because I feel like if you have this like garden space, you probably would have somewhere to sit outside. I feel like if you actually bothered to landscape. So yeah, I'm just moving some of the lights around because some of them got deleted when I made the build smaller. Trying to add some lights to the outside, because realistically if you had a house you would have lights on the outside. And again, getting some debug because it's free, most of it. Now these rocks I thought were free, they were actually for simoleons. I wasn't actually watching the simoleon like count on the side. So yeah, that was not good. So I ended up having to go back through and delete a couple of things, because once I'd laid all the rocks down, one, I couldn't bother to go through and delete them all, and two, I think it looked alright, and the ones that you actually pay for in game are a lot more expensive, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, something. And if your sim gets a job as well, you definitely after one shift have enough to start painting if that's what you wanted to do, and then you could just cancel the job and just paint all day. So yeah, trying to get her out of the way so I can do some like panoramic shots. Yeah, so here we go. So this is the outside all finished. So you've got like a little grey off-white kind of wood cladding, and then obviously you've got the white brick. I feel like with Willow Creek it fits in quite well. I think I'm gonna actually probably redo a lot of the houses in Willow Creek. Some of them start home, some of them not. And just make them look a bit more modern, because I feel like they look a bit kind of is the best way to describe them. So yeah, that's the outside. If you come through the door straight away, you go into the dining room kitchen area, which is really nice. I like using that bookcase thing as a divider. I think it's James Turner, like he used to be called the Sims Fly, who does that quite a bit, and that's where I saw it in one of his videos, and I really like that, especially if you've got an open space. It feels really open still, but you do have some divide between like the different, what would be different rooms. So yeah, the bathroom, I wish I could have kept some of the decor in there, but I think it still looks right. And then the bedroom, I think the bedroom turned out quite well. Really light, really bright. I quite like it, it's quite simple. Yeah, so you've got the PC in there as well. So they've got stuff to do, like there's quite a few skill building items. You can get quite a few skills up on a PC. I added a little bookcase within that bookcase thing, because I don't know if it counted or not. And then yeah, the garden, your easel outside. Nice little bit of debug landscaping. So pretty much all that landscaping was free, and it makes such a big difference to how the house looks. And nice little place for your Sims to sit if, you know, you can be bothered to let your Sims sit and look at stuff. So yeah, that's the finished house. I really like it. I know I spent a bit of money on the columns and stuff, but I think it like fits a lot better and it looks a lot nicer. So yeah, that is the finished build, and I hope you like it. Thank you for watching, and please continue to watch if you like, or subscribe. Thank you. Bye.